What is up, everybody? It's your boys back in with another episode of Franchise Tag Fantasy Football Podcast. As always, please be sure to leave a like, rating, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Really helps us out. Go check out our friends at Fantasy Football Advice Forum, where you get real answers and real responses from people like us. Today, boys, you ready for a quick preview?
Sure.
12-team, full point PPR mock draft.
Are we going to do the standard one, or are we going to do full PPR?
We're going to do full PPR.
Oh,
Standard's gross.
We
talked about
we don't need to go into this conversation.
We talked about doing a standard. If you guys would like us to do one, drop it in the comments. Let us know.
No.
We'll do one for you.
We're already doing a 16-teamer. I draw the line.
I'll do one separately for a standard for you guys. I'll do it. I'll take the bullets. We were talking earlier before the show started, and I almost broke again. So let's just move on to the news. Let's do that before I get myself in trouble.
News and notes. Brandon, kick it off.
All right. So as of today, Kadarius Toney got injured in practice. He tweaked his knee, and he sat out the remaining of the practice. Obviously, it could be just a concern, but this also is a trending thing towards Kadarius Toney.
Why can't he stay healthy? Why? It's so frustrating. Like, he's such a talented player. He's so good. He's so explosive.
It's probably going to be his career is what he's remembered for, is being injured.
On and off the injury list, yeah.
That's so tough.
And then secondly, Javonte Williams will not start the PUP list. Will not start on the PUP list, my apologies.
Well,
it's kind of surprising.
I wish I would have just been drafting him all around.
I've been drafting him all around. It's great. I can attest to that, and on best ball and all everything else like that. So
I'm talking mainly best ball, then kind of going a different direction. But now I wish, man.
Yeah.
So do you guys think that Denver is going to go and sign somebody else, not Samaje P. Ryan, but somebody else, one of these older plotting running backs that just going to muddy up a backfield and suck for everybody that loves Javonte?
I think they're going to work. I think they're going to do a tandem with them and P. Ryan, like what Sean Payton did in New Orleans. I think it could be something similar to that. So
Brandon's cultured.
I try to be cultured, you know.
I don't know why you said New Orleans like that. New Orleans. Why'd you say it like that?
He's cultured. Technically, it'd be New Orleans if
Nolans.
Nolans.
There you go.
Nolans,
There you go.
Sorry, my apologies. But yeah,
down south.
No, I think Javonte's at a really good discount right now, and I think he's going to move up quite a bit when it comes to this incoming weeks of August. I think he'll move up. He's like in the 50s right now. He'll probably creep into the 40s by the time it comes to draft season. So
yeah, I can see that. Fantasy relevant players on the NFI and PUP list. You ready for this list?
Yep.
Kendre Miller for the Saints, Breece Hall for the Jets, J.K. Dobbins for the Ravens, Chase Claypool for the Bears. Not really fantasy relevant. I don't know why he's on this list. Marvin Jones for the Lions. That's borderline. Definitely not relevant for fantasy football. Randall Cobb for the Jets. KJ Hamler for the Broncos. That's what's surprising. It came out today. And CJ Uzama for the Jets as well. Out of that.
When did KJ Hamler get hurt?
When did J.K. Dobbins get hurt?
He's always hurt, man.
No, KJ Hamler tore his ACL, I thought. I could be wrong. I have to vet that.
Yeah, I think Tim Patrick was the one that tore his ACL last season, like right before the season started.
That's what it was, because he got paid and then got hurt.
Yeah.
So while Ray's vetting that, just a note for anybody: any player placed on the PUP or NFI list before training camp can come off the list at any time before week 1 of the season.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, he tore his pectoral. He tore his pec.
Oh.
So I didn't remember that. But yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, so out of that list, I think Breece Hall obviously stands out because obviously Javonte and him tore right around the same time, and Javonte's tear is way more significant than Breece's. Breece's was a clean ACL tear. Granted, it's, they can activate him tomorrow, or, he'll be fine and ready to go. So, we're kind of speculating, but a little bit concerned. Maybe they're just trying to take it easy with him. But I do know they're in the sweepstakes for Dalvin Cook. So I'm a little concerned with Breece Hall. I'm kind of holding back on drafting him in any best ball or redraft right now.
Brennan, just to go off of what you were just saying right now, and this is just something like speculation because we don't really know. this could be because maybe Javonte had his surgery quicker than Brees Hall did. Sometimes they need the swelling to go down for that kind of stuff, and maybe the swelling was just different, just the body is different. It could have been something like that. So that could be what it is. And like you're saying, he could be activated tomorrow. It doesn't really matter. So
yeah.
But I will say, and I liked the last time that you brought this up, but maybe what's your worry rating right now? What's the worry meter
for Brees? I think it's at a 6 actually, because like with them, with Dalvin Cook, it's more so the fact they want to bring in somebody. Like originally it was like, well, they were going to draft Jahmyr Gibbs. All right, well that didn't happen, and then they took Abanikanda in the 6th round, which is it's not a lot of draft capital, but like now they're like linked to Dalvin Cook. He's on the PUP list. It's at a 6. It's like it's pretty worrisome right now.
I'm at about a 5 or a 6, 5.5.
Yeah.
Weren't you at like a 2 before?
No, that was somebody else.
For me, I was probably like a 2 or 3 for Brees originally, just because it's like it's starting. But now we are starting training camp here, so everything's going to start to be rolling pretty quickly. So
it's definitely moved it from like a 5 to like closer to a 6 now, and especially with Dalvin Cook. I don't know. I think I was originally when we were talking about our running back rankings, I had him lower because I didn't think he was going to start the season. This is kind of supporting that, but I would like to see how training camp goes, how preseason goes. If he doesn't start any of those games in preseason, get any PT at all, makes me really concerned about week 1.
I can kind of see that. I think for myself, though, let me just ask you guys in a hypothetical situation, because Dalvin Cook is the betting favorite as of right now to go to the Jets. He's going around like pick 20 to 25. Where would you guys take him if Dalvin Cook does go there?
I don't want to. I don't want to.
You just don't want to?
I don't want to because I think it's just going to be like, when are you going to start them? When are you going to put him in a starting lineup? Are you going to trust any starting lineup, knowing that Brees Hall is going to come back relatively soon? I would imagine relatively soon if he's close.
I don't think Brees Hall, when he comes back, if Dalvin Cook's on that roster, just runs away with the starting spot.
Yeah.
And
so where would you take him, Aaron?
If Dalvin Cook, because Brees Hall's going probably around the same spot right now.
So then, Aaron, let me ask you, and I know we're going kind of long on Brees Hall, but I think it's important because Brees Hall's damn good. Do you think that if Dalvin Cook goes there, does that kind of make you think that the Jets might, I'm not going to say redshirt his season, but like really prolong his return because they don't have to bring him back right away? Dalvin Cook is serviceable until X.
I do think so, and I do think it's a way for them that if Dalvin Cook's on that roster to where they can not rush Brees Hall back into games, not being in quote-unquote game shape. So I could see it prolonging it a little bit where he'll come in and get
10
5 touches this game, 5 touches the next game, then we'll bump him to 10, then we'll let him go free. You know what I mean? So I could see that.
What about you, Brandon? Same or a little different?
I think for me, he would definitely drop in a lot of the aspects. So like I would probably take him. I think it'd be the point where like he's around like Dameon Pierce, J.K. Dobbins area. Like that's how far back he'd drop, like in the 50s to like 60s range.
Yep. And Dalvin Cook, I think if people knew he was going to the Jets, would end up
moving up.
Yes, which is the crazy part. And I'm not taking him at a moved up ADP.
So I think that's all I had on Brees Hall.
Yeah. So J.K. Dobbins, the whole signing of Melvin Gordon makes a little more sense now with him going on the PUP. I don't get why he's on the PUP. They don't really have any good clear-cut information on it. His knee surgery was last offseason, not this one. So
yeah, we're gonna have to see with that one.
That concerns me more.
They better hope it's not a Bakhtiari type injury where he had to go have a whole other surgery just to fix the first surgery.
Could be a botched surgery. Things happen.
Yikes. That would be bad.
Yeah,
things happen.
So, but anyways, that's it.
That is it.
Awesome. You guys ready to jump into this great mock draft we have?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. All right. Just trying to make sure that I actually hit the right screen. Sorry, guys. Don't want to mess up on you here. So we are doing a 12-team full point PPR mock draft with 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex. No kickers, no defense, because we are never going to draft kickers and defenses because the 3 of us despise them for fantasy football purposes. Yes, okay, yeah, you can figure out what defenses are good and try to get them and do all that. No one wants to hear that. If you want to play with the defense, play with the IDP instead. Actually bring something to the table. Anyways, I'll take some shots for that one. I'm sure everyone likes to just, have their own little, you're stupid and I'm right. You know what? If you want to play characters and defenses, play characters and defenses. Don't really care. More power to you. But we're not doing it here, so you're on the wrong spot. Anyways, if you guys, let me say this. For some reason, as Ray has dubbed it, the Aaron sandwich, they want to be on either side of me. So Brennan is 6, I am 7, and Ray is 8. I'm going to get no players that I really want at any spot in this draft. Just let it be known now. I'm not going to mold. I'm not going to rage. I'm just going to take the draft as it comes. So hopefully these guys will reach a little bit for some players and make their teams look really bad. But if you are ready to kick this off, Ray, I will turn it over to you, my good friend.
All right. So then, Brennan, we just got to make sure that both of us go and grab Kirk Cousins.
Exactly.
That's
You better grab him in the 5th.
See, the one thing about this, though. Oh, well, sorry, Ray. You can go ahead.
Kicking off this draft, Justin Jefferson goes first, as most drafts are going to have. Christian McCaffrey, Jamar Chase, Austin Eckler, Stephon Diggs, and Brennan, you are on the clock at the 1-6.
And Brennan's mad because I can get one of the people that I want in this spot no matter what.
Yeah, so again, so this is kind of like a home league kind of situation. Like, I know what Aaron likes, I know what Ray likes. Ray knows what I like, Aaron knows what I like. So we can kind of sit here and play, mind games a little bit in this aspect. So we are a 3 wide receiver set. So I am leaning towards wide receivers, but unfortunately they kind of reach for Stephon Diggs there, and I'm looking at this. I don't want to go Travis Kelce. It's looking between Cooper Kupp and Tyreek Hill, because I think I'll let Mr. Ray have Bijan. That's unless Aaron takes him, but I'm going to go Cooper Kupp here. I think he has the ability to repeat his Triple Crown season or get close to it. So, okay,
I agree. I am going to take my pick, Ray, but before you take yours, I want to note on some stuff on a mock draft that I did from your exact spot yesterday, 2 days ago. But I'm going to take Tyreek Hill, like Brennan said, 3 wide receivers set right here. And I think that he could still have a great season and finish as the number 1 fantasy wide receiver. So Tyreek Hill is my pick. I will say, I want to talk about it. Ray in the 8th spot, 1 draft. Travis Kelce fell here. I took him and then turned around, took Nick Chubb, and then took 3 studs at wide receiver back to back to back to back. And my team was probably the best team I have mock drafted in a 12-team format all season.
Yeah, Ray, take Travis Kelce.
I got your boy Nick Chubb on the back end too.
All right, so I'm gonna go with what Brennan thought I was gonna go with. Regardless, I have not drafted Bijan in any mock draft we've done. It's crazy and it's criminal, and I'm going to go and draft Bijan Robinson. That's it, because Bijan Robinson's gonna finish so good. All right, so after Bijan Robinson goes, then we have Saquon Barkley, Travis Kelce. Hold on, let me get my screen right. Jonathan Taylor, CeeDee Lamb on the turn, AJ Brown in the 2nd round of the 2-1, Patrick Mahomes as the first quarterback off the board, Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle, which I was hoping was going to fall back to me, and I'm back on the clock. But I do have somebody that I think Aaron has drafted in almost every draft that we have done thus far, Garrett Wilson, and he will be landing with me, Garrett Wilson.
Perfect. Awesome. I start off most mock drafts, as these two know, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, because that's what you're supposed to do. But I am going to switch it up this one and see how it works. I'm going to take Nick Chubb. I think he has the potential to, for sure, finish as a top 5 fantasy back, potentially, if the receptions go up, the number 1 fantasy football back this year. Pretty cut and dry.
Well, I knew I wasn't getting Garrett Wilson when I had this pick, so because I knew one of you two was going to take him. I was hoping for Jalen Waddle. That didn't happen either. So I like Amon-Ra. I like Derrick Henry here, but you know what? I'm gonna get a little wild here. I'm gonna go with Jalen Hurts as my number 1 quarterback ranked. I think having him at the premier position is gonna help a long way. So
all right. Well, I didn't expect that at all. That's crazy. Nope. All right. So after Brennan takes Jalen Hurts at the 2-7, which is wild to me, Tony Pollard goes to the 2-8, Derrick Henry, Chris Olave, Amon-Ra Saint, Sun God himself, Josh Allen at the end of the 2nd, Devonta Smith at the 3rd, which I like. I like Devonta Smith more and more. It's like I think about it. I like him more and more. Josh Jacobs, Breece Hall, Mark Andrews, Joe Burrow, and Brendan, you are back on.
Can I call your pick right here? You're taking Ramondre.
Hey, whoa. I do love Ramondre. I think Ramondre can. I like Ramondre. I think Ramondre can finish as the top 5 running back. I have no problem seeing that. I'm pretty high on him this year because the wide receivers after him are T. Higgins, DK Metcalf, and Debo, which I'm not really high on either of the guys. So, and I'm super high on Ramondre, so I'm going to take him here.
Okay. Oh man, at my spot, I do like T. Higgins. I do like Najee. I'm kind of, as draft season goes on, I'm kind of cooling on ETN just from where he's going and the hype that Tank Bigsby has been getting. Is probably going to continue to get. Jahmyr Gibbs hype train. I want to take him just to spite Ray right here. It's really what I want to do. But I personally think DK Metcalf has been getting slept on this year. He's still the number 1 in that offense. Geno Smith had maybe his best career statistical year last year, but when you look at it, it was like top 3rd quarterback play. It wasn't anything miraculously crazy, and maybe Pete Carroll's system works for him. It's the first year we saw, so I'm going to take the shot on DK right here, thinking that he's still going to be the number 1 and the touchdowns are going to go up. Because when you think about DK, he could score 10 touchdowns easily.
Yeah.
So I'm taking the upside of DK.
That's one player I've not drafted in best ball or mock drafts at all. I don't know why. I just been avoiding him, I guess.
All right, so I'm on the clock here, and I have a decision to make. This is going to be something I'm going to risk. I'm going to tell you guys what my risk is because
you picked before us again,
so it doesn't matter. So I am going to risk that Calvin Ridley falls back to me in the 4th, and I don't think he does, but I hope he does. That's what I'm hoping right now. And I am going to go ahead and take Jahmyr Gibbs because I think Jahmyr Gibbs has top 8 potential, top 5 potential, really. If we're talking about, this being a full PPR, I think that's value. So I'm going to go ahead and take Jahmyr Gibbs. After I took Jahmyr Gibbs, Lamar Jackson went T. Higgins, Ken Walker, Travis Etienne on the turn at the 4-1. Najee Harris, Joe Mixon, Keenan Allen, TJ Hawkstrap himself, and I'm back on the clock, and my gamble worked out. I get to have my cake and eat it too. Calvin Ridley as my receiver too.
It worked out for you. So right here, I'm looking at kind of what I want to do. It's hard being in the spot, especially like Brendan said, like home league, everyone kind of already knows what you want to do, especially if you play with these people repeated year over year over year. It's tough because I don't know if they're going to come back to me because I'm sandwiched in the middle of you two guys. So you know what I mean?
Aaron sandwich.
Exactly. So with
delicious.
it being an Aaron sandwich, I'm going to take Aaron Jones. I'm going to go ahead and solidify one more running back. I do think Green Bay leans on him a little bit more this year. As if they haven't already in the past, but I'm locking up my second running back, and now at least I know I have 2 starting running backs for when you guys start trying to snipe me as we get a little later on in this draft.
I like Aaron Jones.
That's a great pick. I am looking here because I don't like much of the running backs here because it's J.K. Dobbins, Dameon Pierce, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers, all that stuff. And then wide receivers, it's Debo, Amari, DeAndre, Scary Terry. And then there's tight ends, it's George Kittle. I do not like this pick whatsoever
This to me, the 4th round, especially the middle 4th, if you're not in a good spot, if you're not on one of the ends where you can just kind of get your people, this is kind of the dead zone for both positions for me.
Yeah, Aaron Jones was the cutoff for running backs, and Calvin Ridley was the cutoff for wide receivers, which is hilarious. Like, literally, it was just like the last 2. This is kind of the dead zone. I'm going to go purely off of hopes and dreams that what they were saying in the offseason is true. I'm going to go with Amari Cooper here. I think Amari Cooper has, again, he was wide receiver 1 last season. I think with Deshaun Watson, a full season of the belt, offseason, I think he can do it again. So, and now we're back.
All right. Well, after you took Amari Cooper, Debo Samuel went DeAndre Hopkins, Justin Fields, I just completely stumbled over my words here. Justin Sherbet, Drake London, Terry McLaurin, Christian Watson, Chris Godwin, Jerry Jeudy, George Kittle, and Brandon, you are back on the clock.
I am back on the clock. And I was really kind of hoping for Jerry Jeudy to come back around. I didn't want to reach for him, but now I'm sitting here looking at it. Again, the running backs that I have available are JK, Dameon Pierce, Miles Sanders. And then the wide receivers is DJ Moore, Michael Pittman. I do like Brandon Ayuk a lot, but you know what? I'm actually going to gamble here since I do have my other wide receiver spot filled. I'm going to go Alexander Madison. I actually think he can be a 3-down back. He's like one of the last ones there that I really, really like more than the others. So I'm hoping that he's the 3-down back and just basically replaces what Dalvin did last year.
I agree. So, as I am on the clock, my running backs are good for now, and I don't really necessarily, with the JK being on the pup, I don't really want to take him here. Miles Sanders, I do like. Don't really want to take him here because I have 2 running backs already. I'd rather try to find better value and take a shot.
I think I know
on
your pick.
Wide receivers. There are 2 players that I like at this spot. You can either go Kyle Pitts here, lock up your tight end position, or you can go Trevor Lawrence to lock up my quarterback position. And I'm taking Trevor Lawrence because I'm not giving Ray that stack.
I saw that stack too. I saw it, and Ray was sitting there trying to be so quiet, and he was just peeking over.
I am not giving Ray that stack at all.
Yeah.
I almost muted my mic. I almost did it. I was like, there's no way Aaron's going to snipe me like that. There's no way. There's no way. So
there is
pain, true pain, because I really wanted Trevor Lawrence. I wanted that stack. And Aaron, you're a spiteful man. So you know what I'm going to do?
The best part about it too is you already have Calvin Ridley, so you can't take Christian Kirk in front of me.
No, I can't. And I hope he gets drafted every time in front of you from now on. But I'm going to go.
That's rude.
Since we are pro Brandon Ayuk on this team or on this here channel, I'm going to go Brandon Ayuk because I believe.
Okay.
All right. So after Brandon Ayuk goes, then DJ Moore, J.K. Dobbins, Damian Pierce, which I think J.K. Dobbins is probably going to fall after this. Cam Akers to round out the 5th, starting the 6th. Miles Sanders, which I think is pretty good value in the 6th. Dalvin Cook in the 6th as well. I think could be okay if he goes to a team that needs him. DeAndre Swift, Mike Williams, and I'm back in the clock, wishing that Mike Williams would have fallen to me as well, but did not. So I'm now starting to think I need to lock up my quarterback position here in the 6th because I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to take one in this draft because I don't know. Sleeper likes to draft 2 quarterbacks.
Let me ask you this though. Yeah, they like to draft 2 quarterbacks, but are you not going to play the ADP game?
Right now, no. I'm playing the sleeper game really because I don't think I'm going to be able to get a quarterback. I think one of these 7 teams is going to take one.
Sleeper around round 9 is when they start doubling up on quarterbacks.
Yeah. And like really, if this is a real life draft, and I think this is something to take into your next, into your actual fantasy drafts, look at the board and who's in front of you. I know Aaron doesn't need one. I know Brennan doesn't need one. I would not imagine that somebody that spent that kind of capital on a Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Justin Fields, Joe Burrow, maybe the Justin Fields owner, would take a quarterback. So I, in a normal draft, wouldn't have to. And you know what? I'm not going to. I'm not.
Only team that needs one in front of you is team 4. So like you said, that is something to take into consideration.
Yeah. So I'm going to take the risk right now because I don't think he'd fall back to me, especially with team 1 having no running backs. I'm going to take Alvin Kamara late because I have 2 good running backs to start over him to start off the season.
That's fair. It fell to me. Well, as I was going to say something about the 2 quarterbacks. In your home league drafts, do not waste a roster spot doubling up on the onesie positions. And with onesie positions, I mean quarterbacks and tight ends, kickers and defenses. Draft 1, draft the rest of your team as skill position players or other positions, and then stream them off of the waiver wire because the dude that you draft in the 15th round probably not going to be on your roster at the end of the year. So, and I'm going to take the stack on this one because I need another wide receiver, and I didn't want Ray to have it, and I'm going to get it. And if I don't take him, Brennan's probably going to take him. I'm drafting Christian Kirk as my wide receiver.
That's rude to assume that.
Was I wrong?
I would never snake you. That's just rude. So I'm in a predicament here because I do need a tight end. There's Kyle Pitts. I can stack Dallas Goedert. I can take the guy who I think will be the number 1 in targets in the New York Giants. And there's just a couple other options here. I do like Mike Evans. I do like Deontay Johnson. I do like Javonte as well. You know what? I'm going to solidify my wide receiver spot, I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson. I think there's going to be touchdown regression or for progression, I would say, for him since he had 0 last year. So he's bound to get 1.
He's got to be better than he was last season.
Exactly.
It's crazy. So after you took Deontay Johnson, James Conner went, Isaiah Pacheco, which again might fall a little bit after getting closer and closer to draft season. Kyle Pitts, Darren Waller, that sucks because I needed him to fall back to me and I knew he wasn't going to. Marquise Hollywood Brown on the turn, Dallas Goedert in the beginning of the 7th round, Michael Pittman, Tyler Lockett, George Pickens, Rashad White, and Brendan, you're back on the clock.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list here, and I'm looking at some of the tight ends here. Like there's Evan Ingram and Njoku, which I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. But I think with Javonte not starting on the pup, I think at ADP 76, I think he's going to rise like in the 50s and 40s, like I said. So this is a steal for me. So that's my flex right there.
That works. This is another part of the draft that I really don't like because I could have waited on quarterback if I didn't specifically want a sniper A and try to get the stack of my own. And then I could have taken Dak, Deshaun, Tua, who I'm really liking this year too. I mean, you know me.
Yes.
And you. We have the beer bet on him and Kirk Cousins, but I do still like Tua even though I didn't bet on him there. So tight end kind of drops off for me. I already have Christian Kirk. It's not best ball, so I'm not going to draft Evan Ingram at this point in time. So that'll be a chance for Ray right there to pick up a tight end if he needs one. I'm going to take the value on the Tampa Bay wide receiver here, and I'm going to take Mike Evans in the 7th instead of Chris Godwin in the 5th. Mike Evans has done it 8 years in a row now of 1,000-yard seasons.
9.
Yes,
he's going on 9, right?
Excuse me. Yes, it's with Baker, but I do think Mike Evans to me is a surefire, 75.
I think he's safe. I think he's a safe pick. And, when you're in round, what is this? Round 8, 7? You'll take safe. You'll take what you know out of it. And that's your wide receiver 3. It's a great pick.
4.
I was between
that's my flex play.
Oh, exactly. So then it's even perfect. I was between him and Javonte, but I think Javonte being there and he's one of the last guys is like a semi workhorse was perfect.
You want to know a secret? Whatever one you didn't take, I was going to take the other one.
Yeah, I figured.
All right, so I'm going to go and stick with the theme of my team being just super young, except for Calvin Ridley. And everybody's on a rookie deal, right? Except for Kamara? Yeah, everybody's on a rookie deal, except for Kamara. I'm going to stick with my theme here. I know that this is a risk, just to run you guys through what I'm thinking here, because I know that there's 2 teams behind me that do not have a quarterback right now. And the only other quarterback right now that I would be willing to take in these sort of rounds is Deshaun Watson to just take the shot. But I'm going to risk it and I'm going to see if he falls back to me. I'm going to take JSN and because I'm really high on JSN and see what happens at the end of the season, All right. So after I took JSN, David Montgomery went, Treylon Burks went, Pat Freiermuth, Dak Prescott to round it off into the 8th round. Evan Ingram, Michael Thomas, Deshaun Watson, of course, James Cook, and I'm back on the clock again. So I have now gotten to the point where I can take a shot on Anthony Richardson, see what the upside of his rushing is, and then hope that I can get another quarterback later in the draft that I can pivot to just in case, which I think that's what I'm going to do. Or I can take a shot on a tight end like a David Njoku right now. And I think that the better play would be to take Anthony Richardson because I think now would be the time where somebody has a solidified quarterback would take a risky quarterback and see what they had,
There's no risk in Anthony Richardson. He's going to be the GOAT.
Could be, but maybe not. I just have a bunch of rookies on my team. That's what I have.
Could be. So we're to the point now where the only thing I need to fill out my starting roster is my tight end. Didn't get any one of the guys that I'm really high on at the beginning of the draft. So I'm gonna play the ADP game and see if I can get one of the later round guys that I'd like to fall back to me. If they don't, I'm just gonna punt the position, stream it for the rest of the season, figure it out. But I am gonna take Antonio Gibson here, especially in full point PPR. I do believe that is going to be a good pick, especially in the 8th round, as someone that has already 2 out of 3 years finished as a top 12, fantasy football back. Why'd you sigh, Brennan?
Because I wanted Gibson. He would have been great. I'm sad. Well, I am stuck with an elite speed runner, Jordan Addison, and then there's Jahan Dotson, and then Kadarius Toney. And then I do need to fill my tight end spot, and I do have the advantage over Aaron because I picked before him this next one, so I could play the ADP game as well. I look at my board, my surroundings, and for me, I'm going to gamble here. I want to win weeks, and I know I could lose weeks with them, but I have my wide receiver spots filled out, and I'm going to take Kadarius Toney.
Okay. All right, so after Kadarius Toney goes to Brennan, then Jordan Addison goes Tua Tagovailoa, Jamal Williams. I think that's great value right there if you're looking at Kamara with a 6-game suspension. Jahan Dotson, AJ Dillon to round out the 9th round here. Brian Robinson, Brandon Cooks, Rashad Penny, David Njoku, Quentin Johnston, and Brandon, you're back on the clock.
I am back in the clock, and I was really hoping for Njoku to be there. He was kind of like that last premier tight end that I would have taken because he's fallen so far. I am looking at my guys that I have available for the top of Juju, Gabe Davis. The running backs have Zach Charbonnet. I have Samaje Perine, and then the quarterbacks, which I don't need. I have Jalen Hurts, so I am going to write him out. The only time I'll ever get a quarterback is when he is on a bye. So I don't want to take Dalton Schultz here. I think it's just too much of a reach, and it's kind of a gross pick. I am going to double down on wide receivers, and I'm going to take Elijah Moore. I'm going to bank on one of the guys that I have, Amari Cooper. If he does get injured, then Elijah Moore, I feel like, will be the solidified one for that team. So he's just going to sit on my bench.
It's perfect. I am going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a wide receiver here. I'm going to take Rashad Bateman. News came out today that he was fully active at camp. So he has the potential. I don't think, everyone's like OBJ is going to be the number one. I don't necessarily have that much faith in OBJ right now coming off of that injury again. So I'm taking Rashad Bateman in hopes that he will be the number one in that offense. And like Brendan said, he's just going to sit on my bench anyways, kind of like with the Kadarius Toney pick for him. So, I mean, if it works out, it works out. If I have to hold on to him to the latter half of the season, then so be it.
All right, so I'm back on the clock here, and I'm stressing so much about the fact that I'm going to probably get stuck with like a Daniel Jones as my real starting quarterback, but I'm going to risk it some more. I'm going to keep risking it. Why not? I'm going to take a look at the receivers left on the board right now. Odell's still there. Jameson Williams still there. I like Allen Lazard, but I already got Garrett Wilson, so I wouldn't take him. There's a couple other names in there that I like, but they're definitely going to still be there later. Since I have every rookie that means anything right now, I mean, Devin Achane and Zach Charbonnet are still there, so that's another move. Or a Jerick McKinnon, somebody that's going to be collecting 5 to 6 targets a game. I'm fighting myself not to go and draft Jerick McKinnon right now. Looking at the tight ends real fast is Dalton Schultz, and then it falls off a cliff. I think I can wait for Greg Dulcich to come back to me. So I'm going to go and I'm going to grab an older receiver just to kind of get myself a little bit of non-rookie action on my roster. I'm going to go with Odell and hope he's got something left on the tank. So after Odell went, then Juju Smith-Schuster, Kirk Cousins, Gabe Davis, Zay Flowers, Allen Lazard to start the 10th, Courtland Sutton, Zach Charbonnet, Khalil Herbert, and I'm back on the clock. I'm not sure how much longer I can wait to get a quarterback that I can trust and then hope that Anthony Richardson is the guy that everybody prays that he is for fantasy football. So I'm going to go ahead.
Aren't you?
I'm going to take the stack. I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers.
I figured.
Hey, that works, man. That works. So your boy needs a tight end.
Same.
Not super excited about the tight ends that are on the board right now, so I might, like I said, just go ahead and kick it all the way, kick the can down the road like NFL teams do with the salary cap. So man, I don't know what to do here. Buffalo's running backs, I do like, you know what, I'm gonna still raise advice. I'm gonna take a PPR machine and Jerick McKinnon.
No,
So
that's what
what I'm gonna do. Thanks, I appreciate you, Ray, but I was looking, I was like, Buffalo's running backs don't do a whole lot, don't want Elijah Mitchell, let's do it. Hey, remember that time you thought this sandwich episode was going to be fun because I was in the middle?
I regret it.
Welcome to your own personal hell, Brennan.
Dude, this sucks. 'Cause that's the last person I was like, oh, I can get Jerick McKinnon. I was like, Ray, shut up about Jerick McKinnon. You're not going to take him. You don't need him. And then I was like, oh, wait, Aaron's still left. And I was like, yeah, now I'm sad. So I have Samaje Perine, which I don't want to because I'd just be doubling down with Javonte. I mean, that's a handcuff, I guess. I could go with that route. It'd be really weird with him, not being the pup. I like Devon A. Chain. We're unsure what Miami's going to do with the backfield, and he's got, unlimited potential because we don't know what he could be. And then there's Jameson Williams, and then I do need a tight end still. So there's Cole Kmet, Chig, Dalton Kincaid. There's quarterbacks, but you know what? I'm gonna go with a wild card here. I'm gonna wait. He might sit on my bench and see what it becomes. I'm gonna take Jameson Williams.
All right, so after you took Jameson Williams, Devin H.A. went, which kind of sucks because I was hoping that, if he could fall back all the way around again, that'd be nice. Then Samaje Perine, Damian Harris. Oh, the tight end run just happened all over again here.
Yeah, it did.
Dalton Schultz, Cole Kmet to start the 11th round. Daniel Jones, Elijah Mitchell, Chicken Conco, Adam Thielen, Greg Dulcich, which sucks. And Brendan, you're back on the clock.
I am back on the clock, and I was like, yeah, if Dulcich fell back or Kmet, I would have probably taken him. It's still decent, somewhat value. But it's not anymore. So I am looking through this list. And again, these are probably guys we're going to cut by week 3, week 2, potentially, because you just don't know. And I'm going to gamble here. And I'm going to go with a guy who might be my number 2 in targets for a really high offensive team, because we just don't know who the other wide receivers are. I'm going to take Sky Moore. I'm going to double down, and I'm going to have Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore.
Dang, man. Took the pick I wanted there.
Good.
Shucks.
I see you, Aaron.
I know.
Aaron's going to take Tyler Higbee, so go ahead and just do it.
No, there's really not anybody that I want. Ray, you need a tight end still, don't you? Yeah, you definitely do.
That I do.
You know what? He's in consideration.
Go ahead.
He's in consideration now. I have a few people out here that I want. I think Ray will take Rashee Rice this time around if I don't take him. So I'm going to play that game, and I'll just go ahead and take Tyler Higbee. He's the last kind of really want. Him and Gerald Everett will probably be the last absolute 2 that I would want right there.
I could have told you off the bat. I knew that was happening. I knew that was coming. So it is what it is. I am now at the point where tight ends, it's going to be the last player I draft in the 13th round. I have no interest in wasting a pick on any other tight end that's there. So I'm going to take Donta Foreman here. Hopefully he gets some solid touches that might work out in my favor. Dalton Kincaid went right after me. Then Devin Singletary, Jacoby Myers, Geno Smith to start the 12th round. Jonathan Mingo, Jared Goff, Tyler Algier, Rondell Moore, which I think that might be a nice pick there at the very end of the draft right there. That might be nice. And I'm back on the clock. And I know that Tank is there. And I know that if I don't take them, Brennan's going to take him because he knows that I'm right and that Tank is going to take that job.
Yeah,
I know he knows.
Yeah, you're right. All right. Yeah.
But Aaron was right in saying that I am looking towards Rashee Rice. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to take Nico Collins. He was the target leader at Houston last season. I don't think anything really changed to make you think that he wouldn't be this season.
I think that was a good pick. I've been taking him too because he's listed as a wide receiver 1 in the depth chart. So might as well.
Yeah.
So I'm entering the season with 4 running backs, boys, because I'm going Romeo Doubs with my last pick right here. Hopefully he'll be the PPR machine.
Still one more pick. Still one more pick.
Oh, it's 13's not populating on my side, so.
Oh, I was like, no, we still got one more.
So I'm looking at this, and I still need a tight end, and I'm probably going to take the tight end with my last pick. And I'm looking through this. I'm trying to find some hidden gems here, and I do see one name that stands out, and it's Jeff Wilson for Miami. No one knows the running back situation there, so I'm going to gamble with hopefully taking the RB1 with my second to last pick. So,
all right. So after you took Jeff Wilson, Darnell Mooney went, then Bryce Young. Russell Wilson went after Bryce Young. That's crazy. Rashee Rice, Zay Jones to start the 13th round. Is it Ken Miller? Is that who that is? Kenneth Miller? Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
Kendre Miller, sorry. Ezekiel Elliott, Tyler Boyd, Roshan Johnson and Kyler Murray and Brendan, you're back on the clock.
Thank you.
Kyler Murray in the 13th.
That's
That team already having Joe Burrow. Oh my goodness.
That's good value.
That's very good value. Yeah, I need a tight end here, so it has to be a tight end. Unfortunately, I would just keep drafting players that I like because I just don't. I already punted on a tight end, so it's irrelevant. But I'm going to take Dawson Knox. I know they drafted Kincaid, but I think Dawson Knox is still going to be their primary tight end for a while. So
I agree. Ray,
what you laughing over there for, Ray?
how you feeling,
That
buddy?
was the last name I could think of. That was it. That was the line.
You don't want Gerald Everett?
No.
Okay.
But I'm
All
going
right.
to have to draft him.
Good.
Ray, you don't have to draft a tight end. You can just go pick one up off the waiver wire.
Nah, I think we should be drafted. We should fill out the roster at least. We should do that.
Okay. So I would leave you the option of Tank Bigsby to make it a little bit harder for you. I'm going to take Jalen Warren with my last pick in the round, back up to Najee Harris. It's my 5th running back. Kind of give me a little bit more depth there just in case something does go awry in Pittsburgh. Or Ray, I guess, as you could say. But Ray, you're on the clock, buddy. I gave you a real choice because you can take them if you want them. Some people don't draft tight ends if they have
That's
to punt the position.
We should be doing that though. We should be taking.
But to be fair, when I play in leagues with kickers and defenses, I typically don't draft a kicker and fill it up with another positional spot.
I did the
That's
same
true.
thing.
I mean, that's a move for sure. A move, but like I feel like we should be doing
For
something,
the viewership
you know,
pleasure, you want to fill your roster out. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. So right now it's between Sam Laporta and Gerald Everett. I feel like I have so many rookies on my team. Why the hell not just keep going with it, right? Why not? Could he be worse than what Gerald Everett is? I don't think so. Sam Laporta. Let's take Sam Laporta. Why not?
All right.
After Sam Laporta, my heart, my soul, my everything. Tank Bigsby went. Gerald Everett, Raheem Mostert, and Michael Mary ends the draft. Fellas.
I'll let
Draft
Brendan
done.
kick his team off first.
Alrighty. So I have a quarterback. I have Jalen Hurts. My running backs are Ramondre Stevenson and Alexander Madison. My wide receivers are Cooper Kupp, Amari Cooper, and Deontay Johnson. My tight end is Dawson Knox. My flex is Javonte Williams. My bench fills out as Kadarius Toney, Elijah Moore, Jameson Williams, Sky Moore, and Jeff Wilson.
And for me, I have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback, Nick Chubb, Aaron Jones at my running backs, Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, Christian Kirk at my wide receivers, Mike Evans in my flex. My bench is Antonio Gibson, Rashad Bateman, Jerick McKinnon. Oh, sorry. Starting tight end Tyler Higbee. To finish out the bench, Romeo Doubs and Jalen Warren.
All right. Well, my roster is super young except for Aaron Rodgers. So my starting quarterback will most likely be Aaron Rodgers to week 1, see what Anthony Richardson is, see how their offense looks, and hopefully I get something out of that. My starting running backs are BJ Robinson, Gibbs, Alvin Kamara, and Deontay Foreman. My receivers are looking like Garrett Wilson, Calvin Ridley, Brandon Ayuk, the truth himself, JSN, Odell Beckham Jr., and Nico Collins.
Well,
and my tight end is Sam Laporta. We didn't have to talk about that. I
like how you tried to skip over that one.
Yeah, no.
So boys, that's pretty much it for today. Got any other 2 cents you'd like to add in?
I got nothing.
Ray?
I love Aaron sandwiches though. They're my favorite.
Sandwiches are great.
That's a fun game. I like that game. Let's play it again.
So
like it.
a couple more drafts. We're gonna rotate out and see who gets sandwiched next time. At a different spot though, of course, not in the middle. We'll make it super fun and go front or end of the draft. But stay tuned, guys. Please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the notification bell so you know next time we have another person get sandwiched in the middle. As always, go check out Fantasy Football Advice Forum. And until next time, we will see you